I'm sure at one point or another, you have wanted to kaypoh how much your friends earn, and that's what we are going to do. In this video, we will be going through official sources to see what are the income, savings, and CPF balances someone has at every age range, so that you will know whether you are keeping up with your peers or not. And before I start, do join my 10,000 members Telegram chat group to discuss or ask any questions that you may have. Alright, let's start with your 20s. This is the age where you become from a boy to man or a girl to woman. And for many, this is the first time you will enter the workforce and earn money. Based on the Labour Force Report 2024, the median salary for someone in his 20s, excluding employer CPF, is around $2,800 and $4,018. For PMAT roles, aka white-collar jobs, the range is slightly higher between $3,200 to $4,500, whereas for non-PMAT roles or blue-collar jobs, it is $2,400 to $2,800. If you are just starting out, you won't have a high CPF balance, unless your mother-father are very rich and top up your CPF lah. The median CPF balance for someone in their early 20s is less than 20k, and for those in their late 20s, it goes up to around 40k to 60k. Now, in case you are looking at your CPF balance and wondering, what is your balance less than these people? Don't worry, that's because these are gross CPF balances, meaning it includes amounts that have been withdrawn for investment, education, housing, and so on. In terms of savings, the Department of Statistics found that the personal savings rate over the last 2 quarters is around 37%. Interestingly, this is higher as compared to the savings rates in the past. Quick pause. In celebration of SG60 and Usmart's first branch opening in Singapore, Usmart is offering 12% interest on our selected money market fund for 60 days, valid until 31st August. This promo is available to both new and existing users. All you need to do is deposit $2,000 and invest the full amount into their money market fund to enjoy this special 60-day offer. Not just that, with Usmart, you will also enjoy 0 fees when you set up a regular savings plan into eligible Singapore and US stocks and ETFs. And if you sign up today, you will receive up to $202 worth of welcome gifts, including share vouchers, gift vouchers, and free live market pricing for both US and Singapore markets. So sign up for Usmart SG using my link down below to enjoy these exclusive offers. Okay, let's get back to the video. There's no official data on how much someone should have in their 20s, but Dollars and Cents estimates that based on the savings rates of 35% and a median take-home pay at age 25, someone around that age range should have around $50,400 in savings. However, this method of calculation may be a little bit too simplistic. That's because when you're just starting out, your starting salary may not be that high. After deducting away 20% to CPF contribution, you still have fixed expenses to account for. And even if you walk to work every day and raid your office pantry, it is still going to be hard to save around 1/3 of your income. So at this age range, you do not need to be too stressed about hitting that 35% savings rate. Instead, you should focus on building good financial habits. This means avoid lifestyle inflation, avoid credit card debts, and pay off any high interest debt such as student loan, credit card debt, and any loan loan that you might have. Because by chop paying off all your high interest debts quickly, it will be as though you are earning a guaranteed return. Also, make sure to build up your emergency funds. This will act as a safety net in case of emergencies, like your water pipe burst lah, accidentally kena accident lah, or your boss accidentally fire you lah, and so on. As to how much you should save, by right, you should save anywhere between 3 to 12 months worth of expenses as your emergency fund. But by left, given that you're probably still living with your parents, it's okay to have less emergency funds saved up, since you don't have dependents or liabilities yet. Instead, take this time to focus on other more important stuff first, such as paying off your student loan, getting insurance before any medical conditions pop up, learning to use credit cards wisely, and even building up your investment portfolio. If you have additional funds, consider topping up 8k to CPF MA or SA every year, so that your CPF money will have more time to compound. Plus, you get to enjoy tax reliefs. Also, this might feel early to you, but it's good to start making retirement plans, even if you're in your 20s. According to a study by OCBC, only 41% of people in their 20s think about retirement. But the earlier you can plan for retirement, the more time you have to accumulate your net worth, which will give you more options to either retire earlier or perhaps work in a job you enjoy later on without having to worry about the pay. For example, If you are able to start saving now and increase your savings rates up to 60%, you can even retire as early as in your 30s. Moving on to your 30s, your income should be higher as compared to when you were in your 20s, assuming you have not retired yet. For someone in their 30s, the median monthly income would be around 5k to 6k. Again, not including the employer's 17% CPF contribution. For PMAX, the income would be higher at around $5,600 to $6,944. Non-PMAX is around 3k. Now, if you feel you are behind your peers, don't worry. Reports show that those who switched jobs to more productive industries saw their salary jump by anywhere from 9.8% to 13.4%. In your early 30s, the median CPF balance is around 140k to 160k, then around 200k to 220k for those who are in their late 30s. Again, these are gross balances, so it includes funds withdrawn for education, investment, housing, and so on. However, even if your CPF balance isn't at this level yet, it's no big deal, as the main goal for CPF isn't to lock up tons of money in it. Instead, it is to at least hit the FRS by 55, so that you have a decent payout when you turn 65. In terms of savings, Dollars and Cents estimates that you should have around 117k of savings in your early 30s and around 203k of savings by the end of your 30s. But as mentioned earlier, these are just general guidelines, and the savings rates will not be the same across all ages or even across different people in the same age group, as everyone will have different circumstances. But if you manage to be the lucky guy to strike the $12 million toto, then that's a different story. The median age of marriage for guys is 31 years old. For ladies, it is around 29 years old. And the median age of mothers having their first kid is 31.9 years old. This means around this age, you are probably going to get married, buy a house, and start a family. Assuming you are not boo-boo forever alone, of course. Because of all these major expenses, you'll be spending a lot of money. That's why if you know you have big milestones ahead, you need to plan and save for them early on to avoid having to take out loans just to fund them. One major perk of planning ahead is that you'll be able to find suitable platforms to park your funds to earn the highest possible return. For example, a 6-month T-bill if you need the money in half a year, or a 1-year fixed deposit to earn a guaranteed return. If you are looking to buy a first property, make sure to buy something that's within your means. Too often, people stretch their budget to the limit just to secure a good deal or get their dream home, only to end up stressed over monthly repayments, renovations, and unexpected costs. Remember, your first home doesn't have to be your forever home. It's better to start with something manageable, build equity, and upgrade later, rather than risk being house rich but cash poor. As you earn more, you should also aim to save and invest more. But I know lah, everything is so expensive in Singapore, so always be mindful and don't let lifestyle inflation creep up. Continue to invest if you have already started. Otherwise, now is still a good time to start, since you still have a long runway until your retirement to let your investments grow and compound. Also, make sure to review your insurance needs, especially if you are going to start a family or you got some ILPs that your long-lost friends sold to you. Once you turn 30, you will also be auto-enrolled into CareShield Life, which provides basic monthly payouts if you become severely disabled and are unable to perform at least 3 activities of daily living. And let's just say that the odds are not exactly in your favor. Statistics show that 1 in 2 Singaporeans aged 65 will require long-term care. So try to upgrade your CareShield Life plan and lock in premiums now before they go up further. Moving on, when you are in your 40s, your back will start to ache and you hate going out often. But the good news is, your salary now would be higher than you were in your 30s. The median monthly salary in your 40s, excluding employer CPF, is around 6.5k. For PMAT roles, the median salary goes up to around 7.5k to 8k. But for non-PMAT roles, salaries often plateau at roughly 3k, the same as someone in their 30s. The median gross CPF balance for people in their 40s is around 280k to 400k. Again, this includes CPF funds withdrawn for various uses. As for savings, Dollars and Cents estimates that you should have about 304k to 413k in savings. However, if you had been consistently investing your money, your savings would be higher than that. For example, let's just say you start working at 25 years old and you only invest 1.5k every month. Over a period of 15 years, from 25 to 40 with a return of 6%, which is far lower than S&P 500's crazy 20% returns over the past few years, you will still have reached 418k, and that's just using very conservative numbers. But even if you have not reached there yet, don't worry, because it is still not too late to start investing now. At the same time, when you are in your 40s, you are now starting to get closer to your retirement years, and retirement is no longer an abstract concept to you. As such, you will need to start preparing for retirement if you have not done so. According to OCBC study, only 54% of those in their 40s have started making retirement plans, meaning almost half of the people in this age group are still feeling a bit YOLO, and that is quite scary. There are many tools that you can use to see whether you are on track to your retirement goals or not, but here's one by CPF. With it, you can see how much payouts you can get from CPF Life after you retire, and whether there are any shortfalls or not. For example, here I want a monthly payout of 3k in today's terms. Based on my current contributions, CPF tells me that I will have a monthly shortfall of $2,210. So to fix it, I can either do cash top-ups or CPF transfers. Assuming I top up 8k to my CPF every year, I'm now closer to my goal. But there's still a shortfall of $1,030. So I will have to find other ways to fix that, such as doing a voluntary housing refund, investing my CPF money, and so on. Whatever the case, since I'm doing it early, I will have more time to plan and let compounding do its work. Besides planning for retirement, you should again aim to save more. This means cutting back on expenses that you may not need, avoiding lifestyle inflation, and reviewing your insurance plans to make sure you aren't overpaying for it. Also, you should start looking into legacy planning. This means doing up a will, setting up your lasting power of attorney, and do up your CPF nomination if you have not done so already. Pro tip, if you are just doing a simple will, you can just use free online tools like the one from Money Owl to draft out one for you. And yes, it will be a legal will, as long as you and two witnesses have signed it in the presence of one another. Oh yeah, here's a really useful tool. You can use My Legacy Watch to store all your important documents, such as your financial, health, legal, and funeral wishes, so that when you pass away, your next of kin knows what to do and how to access your stuff. Next, when you are in your 50s, your median monthly salary excluding employer CPF would have gone down by a bit to around 5.5k to 4.1k. For PMATs, it will be slightly higher at 6.9k to 8k, whereas for non-PMATs, it will still be around the 2.5k to 3k range. The median regross CPF balance for people in their early 50s is around 400k to 500k, but when they turn 55, it dips slightly to between 300k to 400k. Why like that? That's because when you turn 55, magical things will start happening to your CPF. First, CPF will create your retirement account and transfer up to your FRS to your RA, and you can finally withdraw anything that's left over. So some people hand itchy go and withdraw their money. But of course, don't withdraw if you don't need to use the money lah. Besides that, your CPF accounts will start earning up to 6% interest. So try to take advantage of that by topping up money if you still have any shortfalls, or if you want to aim for the enhanced retirement sum. This will give you even higher payouts to cover your essential spending. Otherwise, if the shortfall is a lot larger, you can also consider unlocking value from your house via the Silver Housing Bonus Scheme to get up to 40k, or the lease buyback scheme and get additional cash top-ups to your CPF retirement account. In your 50s, Dollars and Cents estimates that you should have about 522k to 615k. But again, if you had invested just 1.5k over a period of 25 years with just a modest 6% return, you would have gotten close to $1 million savings. In your 50s, your kids will have already grown up, so your expenses should go down. Unless you marry a young wife or you accidentally shotgun, then that's a different story lah. By now, your mortgage loan should also be almost paid off. Whatever you have planned for or not planned for in life earlier on is now starting to bear fruit, such as career goals, investment goals, and relationship goals. So here are a few things you should do when you are in your 50s. Firstly, if you still have any outstanding high interest debts, such as your credit card debt, try clearing them as soon as possible to give you security and peace of mind to not worry about future payments. Secondly, as you are approaching retirement soon, look to slowly transition your investments to more conservative holdings, such as bonds, dividend stocks, or even a globally diversified ETF. This is so that your portfolio doesn't end up crashing by 50% and getting stuck in the lost decade or requiring 20 to 30 years to recover. Last but not least, review your insurance plan because your protection needs in your 50s would have changed as compared to your 30s. By doing a quick review, you could potentially save a few $100s a year off your premiums by cutting away unnecessary policies. Finally, when you are in your 60s, if you are still working, the median income excluding employer CPF is $2,850. For PMAX, it is slightly higher at $5,754, and for non-PMAX, it is $2,115. For the CPF balance, it will fall to a range between 200k to 220k in your early 60s. But as CPF life payouts have commenced at age 65, it goes further down to 140k to below 160k. But honestly, right now, you shouldn't have to worry about money too much, as it is time to finally retire and enjoy life after working hard all this while. Though, you should still continue to have good financial habits and not splurge unnecessarily. Even after you have retired, you shouldn't become a lazy bum and stay at home watching TV all day or doom scroll TikTok. It is always important to stay active even after you have retired, like these Sibei fit Apex who can run faster or lift more than your ama. Because good physical and mental health is still needed to have a good quality of life. So that was a quick overview on your average net worth by every age. If you find yourself falling behind, I think it is perfectly fine, as everyone's situation is different. What's more important is that you start working on your goals, build up good financial habits, and you will eventually end up in a better place from today.